opportunity. But this question I'm gonna ask you: are you North Carolina bred or North Carolina transplant?
I am born and bred in North Carolina. I was a military brat, so we traveled a lot, but we always came back home in between deployments. And so, of course, I was born here, but then from the age of 12 on to now, I've been in North Carolina consistently.
Yeah. And military, what was the branch your family served?
Come from a long line of Army people. My mom was in the reserves, my dad was active military.
Well, my oldest nephew, no, my youngest nephew, my oldest niece were in the military. My niece, she actually went to Columbus. He got her basic training at Fort Jackson. And my nephew, I think he was in Kansas when he got his. I would think about joining when I was younger. Then I got a job, so life happens. But the big question I ask you, ma'am, what got you started in sports? I call it muscle and masculinity. Please share.
Yeah, so my whole life, I've had a goal. It was like a bucket list item of doing a competition. I like confidence. Didn't really know a lot about competition. Didn't have the confidence to do it. Didn't think I could do it. And so I've been in the gym since my 20s. I'm 55 now, and I've been in and out of the gym since my 20s. And I went to someone for nutrition advice and told her, yeah, I've thought about, because she had competed before. I thought about competing, but I just really don't know if I have the confidence to do it, if what to do, how to do it. And so she just really sparked a fire in me and said, yeah, you absolutely need to compete. You need to compete in figure. So I started in 2020 competing. She's like, figure is where it's at, because I was much smaller then. So figure is where it's at. You need to do figure. And so just her belief in me gave me the confidence to go out and try. And so I stepped on stage. George, this is a funny story. So I am a country girl. I do not wear shoes unless I absolutely have to wear shoes.
I,
I
I,
had to learn how to walk in them daggone heels because, again, I am a barefoot girl. So my poor heard me pumping around the house like a horse in those heels. Never got comfortable in them. So the funny part is the first show I was in, I'm trying to walk in them heels, not fall. I was so nervous. I about bowled the girl over in front of me walking out on the stage because I had so much going on. The nerves, the don't fall. What do you do next? Oh my goodness. But I did that first show and the bug bit me and I was like, this is so much fun. I love this. I love everything about it. I love the process. I love every season. So 2 weeks later I did another show. Like, this is so much fun. And after the show, I would always do women's physique posing, not figure posing, for all of my pictures. And my coach was like, you really are more of a physique girl. That seems to be your interest in your body type. Of course, I needed to grow and build to meet that category, but she's like, you're more of a physique girl. So I did another show and I did figure and I crossed over into physique. And I have not looked back since. I love physique. I love the femininity of it. I love the muscle structure. I love just the camaraderie the athletes have with one another in that division. I love everything about women's physique.
yeah. It's been a while. I think it's been around for about good over a decade now. It was I wasn't a big fan of it when it first came out because I felt like it was watered down women's bodybuilding, but quite a few ladies, amazing women in the division. It's just really has really established itself. It's evolving. If you look at it recently, if you saw a young lady that I remember, I was in Tampa last year when you competed, and I was hanging out there, and I saw a young lady who was there, who she competed there, I think the year before, but she competed again, and that was Paula Ranta. And Paula, if I can find that picture, is right here in my display. She was. This is when she was just. I think this was her second year doing physique that year, and she has really evolved since then.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, it's you saw her when she was at the state when she was here there this year, and see how
Hmm.
she's grown.
Oh yeah. She has grown tremendously.
Well, she has that advantage. She's like, what? She's 26, 27. I mean, we in our 50s. We kind of we're beat down, broke down. We beat down country people. My family was sharecroppers. We had to work and do this, do that. I still walk around barefoot in my house. I might put on socks when it gets cold, but now I'm getting older. It's starting to get a little colder. So, and figure, that's division has been around just as long, a little bit longer. I mean, I've interviewed ladies who transitioned from that division because, there'll be two sides. Some ladies love the high heels. I mean, one lady says she likes to walk on a treadmill in her high heels. She loves her high heels. Some they say they'd be happy to get those clog hoppers off of their feet. One woman told me she had a story where she took I think it was an air dryer, a blower dryer, took it and tried to loosen up the laces because they're so tight on her feet.
I did that too.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. So for you, what was that experience like that first time competing, especially being this, country girl, when be on stage and you're pretty much wearing just a little bathing suit and you're all up and tanned.
oh my gosh, George, it was just so surreal. So, initially, I have a lot of confidence now, let me say. Initially, I lacked confidence, so there was a lot of anxiety. And I remember thinking, I'm going to go out there with just little pieces of material on me, not covering really nothing for the whole world to see. You can't hide anything, it's all showing. Um, so, up to the jaws, a little glam, my hair, the suit, the tan. Didn't like the shoes, so we'll just ignore the shoes. But I just felt so beautiful and so confident show day that all the anxiety and nerves I had leading up to it kind of disappeared until it was time to walk on stage. But it was just so much fun, and everybody backstage was so welcoming and nice because I was very quick to tell everyone backstage what insights to give me, what are some tips that I might need to know before we get out there on that stage. And I got out there and I saw my husband sitting out in the crowd and they're hollering and they're smiling for me. Their love and support just gave me all the entire show. And you'll see it like all because I have so much age showing off all the hard work that I've done that I did to achieve the way I sculpted my body. I think of it like I like pottery. So I think about it taking that mold of clay and just sculpting and sculpting and sculpting until I achieve what I want to achieve. Of course, I'm never satisfied, so I'm always trying to level up, constantly level up. But yeah, that first time was just so much fun. I remember getting off stage and being like, oh my gosh, I can do this again in 2 weeks. I get to do this in 2 more weeks. I cannot wait for 2 more weeks. I'm so excited.
Yeah, y'all women, y'all never satisfied. Yeah, just maybe that's why we love you, we hate you, but yeah, it's an experience for everybody. We do that first time. I have ladies said that some ladies just naturally because they like to perform. Others, I mean, one lady told me one time her first time she had to get a little tipsy because try to shake off the nerves. Oh, we have some guests. Shout out to my man, my brother. My man David from the Female Body Forum says, Carrie, the best. She's just radiates positivity and she's the sweetest FBB. Oh, thank you, brother. Also, he says this, he has a comment. How about PD Pablo, North Carolina, raise up? Yeah, I know PD.
Well,
I used to work in the club. Yeah, that PD used to come on. He used to go, and also shout out to my nephew here, Alex. Alex is in the building. Alex says, hey, George. Hey, Carrie. Great to see you. David introduced me to you. I even made that Tampa uh, pro pose with you. He said made a pose. I gotta get my glasses in because I think I dropped them. And also, he says to me, he says, congratulations, thank you, son, thank you. And also, my man Caleb, one that coming through says, which comment says, he says just from Alex. He says, thank you. I'm from a little bit. My man Caleb says, good morning to you. And also, shout out to Alex Guest says, I agree about PD still on the believe that you put him in the YouTube video. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I gotta get my little. Give me a second. I gotta get my old man glasses because sometimes I slip a little bit because you get to that age now you can't see like you used to.
Oh, I'm
But
wearing.
I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't put those things in my eyes. I mean, I couldn't do that. I got these. So So now you turned pro, and that was back in 23. And what was the show? What was that experience like for you? That first time getting your pro card?
Oh my gosh. I remember it just so clearly standing on stage, and I kept thinking, please don't call my number. Please don't call my number. Because, they count down to one. And I kept thinking they'd call a number and I'd be like, oh, okay, relief. Please don't call my number. Please don't call my number. And as soon as they called the second place winner and I realized that I won my pro card, I just thank God and looked up, thank God. And like, I'm feeling emotion now just reliving that experience. Like, it was so emotional, so overwhelming. There were a lot of people that didn't believe I would become pro. I'm an older athlete. I became pro in an open class. And I think that's pretty significant. I obtained my pro card in open. I didn't get it in a master's class. I got it in an open class. Really says a lot. And before we went to the show, I've got a Wolfpack bag. I bought a patch that said Women's Physique IFBB Pro. And I took it in the plastic with me to New Jersey to that show. And I told my husband, I said, I am going to win my pro card, and this is going on my backpack. And so, for all the people that didn't believe that I was going to get my pro card, I didn't have to say a word. I didn't have to do anything because I showed that I had faith and belief in myself. And I just knew. I don't know how I knew, but I knew that that card was going to be mine. And so I spoke it into existence. I claimed it. I worked hard and I earned that card.
And that's good to have that faith. Faith is very important, especially in this sport, because this sport can do a lot of things to a person mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, even the big part financially, because it is very expensive compared to other sports where you can make a living off of it. It's seen more of a hobby, a discipline, whatever it is. But to step in and to be a woman of maturity and to beat out maybe competitors who may be uh, 20 to 10 years younger than yourself. That's pretty good. You got to respect that. Again, here my man David, he's in the comment section. Now I got my glasses, I can see a little better. He says, uh, he told me this says, Carrie's autos cutting out sounds like a vacuum cleaner in the background. Actually, they're cutting grass in my neighborhood today. So, I don't know. This is the best time to go out. They want to tear grass today. Any other times, won't see him for my. I live in the project, so they cut it every so often when they feel like it. Shout out to my man, Alex. He says, yeah, he says same. Yeah, the guys already moved farther off. He was close to the house. So anyway, you know, for you, that was a great opportunity to go because you did the Universe, which is a pretty popular show. I remember one year I interviewed a couple ladies who were bikini competitors, and I think it was that same year. I think they had 600 girls competing in that one show. It was a lot of competitors, and to still get your pro card, and again to beat out competitors much younger than yourself.
Yes, yes. That was so exciting to me. And that's kind of my personal claim to fame is I beat out women younger than me who of course genetically speaking should have beat me. And the fact that I got that pro card in open, like I'm just so proud of myself. I'm always proud of myself regardless of, because judging is subjective. So I'm always proud of myself regardless of the outcome of a show because show day is fun and it's great and it's just a little stop on the journey, but it doesn't take away from what I build 364 days out of the year before that show day. So I'm always very proud of myself and what I've accomplished regardless of what happens, but to get the validation from the judges to say you've accomplished and gone above and beyond to the point that you earned this pro card. Like I still have the big card. It's framed. It was on my wall for a couple years. It's not downstairs. It's upstairs in the weight room on the wall up there. But it was above my mantle for a couple years because I was so proud of me that I earned that card.
Well, man, you should be proud because you know what? it's a lot of work you got to do when you get into sport. The sacrifice, the time, the investment. You know, when I talk to ladies, prep can be, especially with two people who prep. You and your husband, he also bodybuilds. Your husband, you mentioned, is Chris. And how long y'all been together? And when did y'all meet?
Oh my goodness. So we have been together 33 years. He is absolutely amazing. So he's been in the gym, in and out of the gym along with me. Never thought about being a bodybuilder. He never thought about competing. But when I told him I want to compete, he said, "Well, I love you and I want to support you. So I'm going to do it too." I don't think either one of us knew how difficult that was going to be. But I tell people, together, you've got a strong marriage.
You got to have one. My parents were together for 55 years, even though my dad lived in New Jersey. They were still married, but they were, living apart. They were still, and she was here in North Carolina with the rest of us. And, it's good to have that because I've talked to ladies um, that were married, and then when you started getting into sport, your relationships change because they change. I think as men, we're comfortable with you women as you are. We don't want y'all to change, but then like anybody, you grow eventually change. Especially when you get into sport like bodybuilding, you change your lifestyle, you change your habits. You're not doing things like you used to do. Sometimes friendships change because sometimes you got to go to bed at 8 o'clock in the morning, in the evening, so you get ready to go do workout at 4 o'clock in the morning. You don't go to the same place like you used to. Like, hey, Carrie, we're going to the bar. You want to come with us? Nah, you can't be drinking beer all night and shooting darts.
Right.
You got to really be consistent and also disciplined in this lifestyle as a bodybuilder.
Yes, yes. And then for me, I'm so, because so many people don't have that. I'm so fortunate that we have each other to understand the lifestyle, support one another, encourage and motivate one another. And as you can imagine, with two bodybuilders, we eat a lot of food. So that means a lot of cooking happens in this house. And so the fact that we can share the load of the cooking, the load of the responsibility, um, sometimes he takes on more responsibility if I'm closer to a show. If he's closer to a show, I take on more responsibility. But overall, we are very much 50-50 supportive of one another. And, I think we've been together 33 years. I think that's a testament to our love and support for one another in itself. And I just love that he has found enjoyment in the bodybuilding world and the competition world, understands it. I don't have to worry when I'm gone 2.5 hours to the gym because I'm in prep and I'm doing an hour and a half of cardio. I don't have to worry about him complaining that I'm at the gym or I'm going to the gym again. He's encouraging me. He understands. And because he's goes through prep, he goes through the competitions, he understands the world. And I think people who aren't immersed either as a like yourself, a strong supporter of the sport or in the sport, it's really hard to fully grasp and comprehend really how much of your life is devoted to that. You
Mhm.
know, every sport out there has an off season. Bodybuilding is the only sport that has no off seasons because you don't get to say, well, I'm going to take a month off and vacation and eat what I want and do what I want. You are training consistently every week. You may take a little bit of time off, but you're not taking a long time. Basketball, football, hockey, they have seasons where they are off and their body recuperates. We are pushing our body constantly on a regular, consistent basis.
Mhm.
6 days a week. I take one rest day a week. That's it. On occasion, I might take 2 days in a row, like I took my grandkids on vacation. So I might take 2 days in a row as a rest day, but that's an outlier. I don't take more than 2 days, and that is very rare. So there really is no off season when you look at other sports. We understand, our off season is an improvement season, a growth season, whatever you want to call it, but it's not an off season like in other sports. And George, I just want to say I love that you call this a sport. It really bothers me when people call this a hobby. This consumes my entire life, my whole being. This is not a hobby. This is a lifestyle. This is a sport that I engage in. A very expensive sport, but a sport nonetheless. Not
Yeah, it is because you know what it is. Somewhat if it is a sport, but also has a little bit tendency to hobby because with a hobby you can invest in it and get a return out of it. But with bodybuilding, other return than maybe a better physical presence or better shape, also the discipline and the will, and also so many is involved in it. When people think about bodybuilding, they think about you pop some special pills to get big like Arnold Schwarzenegger, But no, that's just part of the process. It helps you recover. It's more to it. If you're not consistent on your diet, not consistent on your training, if you're not disciplined, there's so much to it that I think most people don't understand it. And she mentioned she's a grandmother too, so she's a buff, beautiful grandma. I mean, how old are your grandbabies? How many you got?
I've got four grandbabies. So the oldest is 14. No, he just turned 15. And the youngest is 7. So two girls, two boys.
Yeah. Well, tell your kids, their parents say, hey, that 15-year-old, beat him down. You gotta, put him in place. My mom had to raise me. I have my older brother, my younger brother, and my two nephews, and we boys, we country boys too. My brother, the one I mentioned earlier, my brother James, he's the one that really was into the thing. He used to lift weights. We didn't have weights. We had cinder blocks and logs because, like I said, we were country and he played football here in our hometown. He did pretty good. He went up to Shawan College for a couple of years, but then he got, he got middle college. He wanted to come back home, and he really was the one that really got me into it because I remember, you get the muscle mags like we see guys like Arnold and Lita Brada and Lee Haney and those guys, and then I was getting my teenage years, and it was people like Corey Everson and Richard Glass and I'm sorry, I have to calm it down a little about self care. They kind of blew my mind. But something about it's just what y'all women do and how y'all do it. I gotta give respect. Shout out to my man David. He's in the comment section. He says this. He says he wants a question. He says, "What is Carrie's take on Sarah and Ali's beef on Natalia regarding PMA and implants?" Oh, that's a big one. He hit not the box. What's your thought on that, madam?
Judging is subjective. If you're in court and you accept when the judges give you praise and award you a placing, you have to also accept when they don't give you praise, when they don't give you a placing, when they feel that you were somebody brought a better physique. You've got to accept that. I think attacking anyone for what they're doing in a sport that doesn't specifically say you can't do something, whether she did it or not, the sport doesn't say you are banned. This is not a natural competition that she's in that these are banned substances. It's not banned. So that means there are no rules and no limits. And so I think it looks poorly on Sarah and her husband to attack an athlete who the judges said had a better physique.
Mhm.
It's they're attacking her, but she all she did is present what the package that she created. Regardless of how she created it, I don't know. It's none of my business how she created it. She created it. She looked amazing. She put it on stage. I agree with the judges. I think she won. I think Sarah and her husband really need to take a look at what image are you portraying of yourself to others. Natalia didn't go and tell the judges to pick her. She hoped they picked her. She wanted them to pick her. But at the end of the day, it was the judges who made the decision, not the athlete.
Mhm.
And I know personally, I'm tired of them going on and on about they need to shut the door, do what you need to do to improve, to make sure there's no question of you being the winner next time.
Yeah, yeah,
Question.
I'm Yeah, I like this. To be honest with you, I wasn't a big fan of either one of them per se, but I did respect what they do. Like what Sarah's doing, put up money for shows like Texas Pro, Pittsburgh Pro, promoting her division. Natalia, one thing I was a big fan of her is she's being the top competitor in your sport, in your division, and doing multiple shows. But I have gained some respect for her because she's very disciplined young person. I mean, a while back, she's come into a couple of my live streams before. I was doing an interview with Sarah with Tracy Guile, and she popped in the live streams to say hello to Tracy. Even when I post on my social media with her, and she says, "Thank you, George, for posting that." I mean, okay. I mean, one time I made a comment and somebody said something about my comments, and they said like she said like this. He don't have to be my big fan. He supports us. And I said, you know what? I have gained a bit of more respect for her now, but I still don't like the fact she jumps in shows because I know some ladies told me, say, hey, when they do a show, the tag jumps in, say, ah, forget it. That, I, I mean, what the, you already the champion. You already top through the world. Why you coming to the show? I mean, but some women are very, they don't have a problem because this is about competition. But again, when you are either the current champion or the top competitor, you should take a step back and let everybody want to get a shot. Everybody wants to go to Olympia.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think you said that you're a big fan of Natalia.
I am a big fan of her. She's my favorite.
Well, like I said again, but if you follow me long enough, you know who's my favorite. I can't help it because she's so beautiful. I'm a big fan of the lovely Miss Andrea Shaw. A while back, a friend, I call him my brother, but you know what? I have a problem with he did something a while back, and I was going to have a problem with it. He had his hands on my girl. I
What?
told David, I love you, David. You're my brother, but I told you he. I, I don't care about Whitney Jones, any other women. The Titans there, I don't care about that. But he had his hands around my girl. I mean, even she was at the. He went to the Auto Classic, and he said, "Well, George, I might see her." So I told David, "You can shake her hand, but you can't touch her." But David, he had to touch her. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta.
That is.
One, two, three, one, two, three, one, two, three.
Oh,
Okay. But one thing I always want to do is my dear friend Eunice, as when I went to Tampa, I was there helping with the bad rap. The Monica Biggie final with my friend Eunice, South Eunice, and Jolene at Bad Rap. Jolene, she took you, my man. But Eunice was at the Olympic back in 2023 when it was in Orlando, and she ran to Andrea. And it was like a few days after my birthday. She said, George, I sent something in the mail. So what is it? It was this.
wow.
And what makes it so special is the champ signed it for me.
Oh my gosh, George, that is.
She, she said, George, you are the best. I can't believe I know it by words. Says, we love you for your support. Love you, Andrea Shaw. There's tears all over it and other things too, but I think she's just amazing. Like I said, I'm a fan of y'all ladies. Quite a few ladies I've met doing this. As you know, I'm going to Pittsburgh, and it's a great
Yeah.
opportunity to meet some of these ladies I've done interviews with, and also who follow my social media. But anyway, we have a comment from here. I know who it is. It's from my man David. He laughing at me. What you? Lucky you stay in Tampa. You stay in Tampa. You stay in Tampa.
Uh,
I like my man Birdman says, I see you when I see you. You know, uh, Shout out to my man also, Alex says, since George now has his glasses, I said that made many Tampa posters with all the WPD competitors, including Carrie. Thank you, son. Thank you, kid. He's a great kid. I got to meet him when I was in Tampa. So what we do, folks, while we get her here for a moment, we're going to jump into her social media for a little bit. If you want to follow Carrie, her links are in this description of this live. If you're interested in supporting her, she just competed a couple of shows this year. Maybe we might see her do maybe another one, or maybe next year. If you're someone interested, sponsorship, anything can help you raise, but be respectful. This is a lovely lady. She's somebody's wife, somebody's grandmother, somebody's mother. Reach out and genuine interest. No weird stuff. If you do, you have a problem with me. So
yeah.
here we go. We're going to jump into her social media for a little bit. If you want to follow Carrie, the links are in the description of this live. So here she is. And she sent me a couple of pictures. This is from when she was at the Tampa Pro. And this is I think it's a video of you. And here we go. Like, what was that feeling like? I mean, this was a deep lineup this year. I'll be honest with you.
It was really the competition was so tough. The ladies were amazing. They looked incredible. I just, one of the things I love about competing is just the friendships that I developed stage with the ladies, and we just encourage one another, and we are genuinely happy for one another on the stage. Even when someone beats me, I'm genuinely happy for them.
Hmm. That's good. That you're a good sport about it. I mean, you look really good. I mean, what you were doing just this year? You were just doing the masters. That was, I think, it was 50, and what else? The other class?
Yeah, so I did 45, 50, and because I turned 55 July 19th, I was a couple days into being 55 and I was able to do 55 at Tampa. So I was really excited about being able to do a whole nother class in Tampa.
Yeah. Here's some pictures here. I like this light purple dress here. Who's the photographer? This one.
So Dustin, I, I can't pronounce his last name. He goes by DV Rad something, but he is amazing. He has been photographing, he's a professional photographer. He has been photographing my bodybuilding journey since before my very first show. So I do a photo shoot with him before every show, and he has been documenting my and so it's really nice to be able to see just how my physique has evolved over the years.
Mhm. What we feel like is the thing that you need to work on the most, and the thing is your best physical suit, your best physical strength.
So my arms are definitely the best. I worked really hard this past year to grow my lower body, so my glutes and my legs. And I'm just never really satisfied with my leg and glute growth. I feel like I can grow them more. And so I think this year I'm going to do a big focus on, of course, growing everything, but my abs. I want to improve my abs. My lower abs are a little weak, so I want to improve them. I want to thicken my back a whole lot more. Shows are one from the back, so I want my back to be a lot thicker and wider than it is currently. And then just continue to enhance, the upper body, the arms, the chest, the legs.
Hmm.
But satisfied. So it's like I can pick apart my physique and see all kinds of areas I want to grow and need to grow.
Yeah, I think it's harder when you're much older because your body's not as tight and taut when you are when you're 20s or your 30s. And it's hard to grow because it's about the collagen is one thing. If you don't have as much like you used to, like I could tell you, I got two bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and sometimes it's hard to move like I used to when I was in my height, or like my man Doc Holliday say, I was in my prime. But yeah, I think you look really good. I would say that work on the things you need to work on. Like who's your coach and who you been working with?
Oh yeah, so Justin Compton is my coach. He is absolutely amazing. I've been working with him. I started with him. I did last year. I did Chicago, and I worked with him for a week in between Chicago and Tampa. And I was able to drop, it was either 4 or 5 more pounds. I came in tighter, fuller, bigger. And then so we've had a whole year to work together. And my physique, when I compare last year to this year, I'm two totally different people. He really tailors everything to me individually of what I need, my food plan, my exercise. I do at minimum weekly check-ins all year round, and when we're in prep mode, I do check, multiple check-ins a week, and then we eventually get down to daily check-ins. But he's so attentive and can just look and see things that I can't see and make quick changes that impact my body. So working with him has really been a game changer for my physique, and I'm excited to see what we do together for next growth season.
Hmm. So what's the plan for next year? Because you've done Chicago and Tampa. Daytona's around the corner, and there's also Max Fit. They had a pretty good show. We think about since you're just doing mostly master show. We think about consider those shows in the future.
So I never pick my shows until the first of the year. I really don't think I did Chicago and Tampa 2 years in a row. So I'm really at this point, I don't think I'm going to do, it's not off the table, but I really don't plan on doing those shows again. I'm considering Max Fit. There's one in Puerto Rico that I was thinking I might do. Just kind of thinking and looking. Do I want to do something earlier in the year? Do I want to do something later in the year? But probably not going to be Tampa and Chicago.
Mhm. Yeah. You can't get burnt out. I remember, it can get you can get burnt out by doing the same show. You want to do something different, change it. There's a lovely husband. Is what's his plans for his get his pro card?
Yeah, so he just competed in Florida. Um, and then he's competing Saturday actually at the Golds show here in Raleigh. So I'm really excited about that. And then we're looking at next year going to nationals and him trying to get his pro card next year. He looks incredible. We have the same coach. He looks incredible. He's put on a lot of mass this grow season. So I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with at nationals next year.
Is he at the house right now?
He's working.
All right. All right. Here's one of the babies. Aww. That's the little 7 year old. Aww. And that's the teenager. You got to beat him down. That one looks just like you, the
she
oldest girl. That's your daughter?
That's my daughter.
Oh, yeah. She's just as pretty as her mama.
Oh, thank you, George. You're always so sweet.
It doesn't, like I said this, ma'am, it never hurts to be nice if you can be. And it's good. How many kids you have altogether?
So I've had three children. Unfortunately, God took one home at 6 with cancer.
Oh,
Did him more than I did. And so living, I have a son and a daughter. And ironically, the son has the two boys and the daughter has the two girls. They both wanted one of each. So, but the kids are, they're cousins, but they act more like siblings because they're growing up so closely together that it's just really nice. And the grandkids are so good. Like I don't worry about at this point. I have no concerns about any of them. Well behaved, well mannered, just really good children.
yeah.
Uh,
You got your dogs. Those are big dogs you got.
yeah, I've got two Cane Corsos, Luna and Zeus.
Yeah, well, that's cool. We used to have dogs. We had mostly mutts and stuff like that. And I can tell you that, yeah, I got a nephew. He's only well, I have an older brother, my father's son, before he married my mom, and he's like, he has two sons that's older than me, and I have nephews that we grew up together like brothers. I'm their uncle, but we grew up like brothers. I can understand that. I can testify that. You know, children, if especially, I think maybe it's a southern thing. I don't know, but if you grow up together, you act like you're almost family. Like my
Yes,
sister, their mother, she's the oldest, my mother's oldest child. People thought because my mom and dad worked the fields and she had to watch us younger kids. I came up second to last. I got a younger brother. And people thought she was my mother. And here's a true story. My mom and what I think was maybe we were doing something for school or something, maybe getting our back to school stuff. And it was me, my mom, and my sister and my younger brother and my two nephews. And my mom, her name was Alberta. They called Miss Burt. I said, Miss Burt, why that girl got all those boys? She says, two of them are mine. So because my nephew is only a year older than my brother, and I got a nephew that's 4 years younger than me. We grew up like brothers, and that's how it is. You want that to be close, so like especially if somebody fights you, your brother can back you up. They can back each other up, like like brothers and sisters.
absolutely. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a comment here. This is for Marco. He is a regular visitor. He says, "What advice do you give? You give to a mature or master's level competitor who feels it might be too late to pursue IFBB Pro Card?"
Oh, that is such a great question. It is absolutely never too late. Never. I have a friend who is, I believe he's 74 and he competes and he just started a few years ago. In his 70s, started competing and is striving to get his pro card and trying. It late to go and try to obtain a goal that you have for yourself. I say treat your body well, do continue doing what you're doing, and when it's your time, you're going to get your card. You may not get it, I don't know your age, you may not get it in your 50s, it may be your 60s, but don't stop chasing that dream.
Mhm.
Continue chasing that dream, and one day you will achieve it.
Yeah. I interviewed a lady, the lovely Mrs. Rebecca Woody. She competed good part of the 90s and 80s, stepped away because she already had family before. She already had kids, but she took a step back from bodybuilder, came back in her early 70s, got a pro card, and then the year she made her pro debut, that was a one-time thing. But now you got to think about this woman in her 70s and finally becoming a pro. I know ladies in their late to mid 50s who start competing as bodybuilders because they have a passion for a sport. It's about if you have a passion for something, if you will for it, go after it. I mean, I know I'm not going to be able to be a bodybuilder. I mean, I couldn't do the diet because we, as you know, we in the South, we like our, I try to get better because here's the truth about me. I was almost 500 pounds, because taking care of my mom, food can be seen as comfort. And taking care of my mom, I did, indulge a lot. I was always a bit overweight before, but, after she passed, I went to a doctor because I need to take care of myself. And he told me, Miss McCarthy, you were just at 500 pounds. I was tipping. I was just maybe 10 to 15 pounds from being 500. And I started making some changes because talking with ladies like yourself and give me some advice. And I made some changes. Last time I see my doctor was about a few months ago. I was at 420. And I have the shooters where I do assessment. The nurse weighed me. I was at 412.
Wow.
And that's coming from all the way from you to being 500. I had some alters. I had some mistakes here and there. I'm not perfect.
Right.
I try to work on myself as much as I can.
Absolutely. You fall, you pick yourself up, and you don't berate yourself, you don't belittle yourself. You just keep going forward, and that's all you can do. George, congratulations. Someone who gains weight and loses weight, I understand the challenges of losing weight. It's not easy. Congratulations. That's such a great accomplishment.
Right? I take pride of that. I remember my family says, "You look kind of different." What I was doing one time was get up in the mornings and working out a little bit. I started back doing it a while back because I knew I was going on my trip, so I want to be in better shape.
Oh
And
yeah.
also, I was taking the Majono, but it didn't work out for me because I didn't like how it made me feel, so I stopped taking it. And and I just cut back some things I used to like. Like one of my favorites is, I love Chinese food. Oh God, I just it's yeah. You go to there's a little place if you know a town called Dillon. It's like way from where I'm staying here. Like it's halfway going to Myrtle Beach, and there's a Chinese restaurant there. They have just this big buffet. I remember last time I was there, maybe about a couple months ago, after my doctor visit. There, they was looking good, and I just say, let me get a couple of plates. It took me a week or so to eat those plates because I didn't go indulge, go crazy like hog wild on it. Shout out to my man Alex coming through as he always says. He says, what I met Andrea too. We get along fine. I would never steal George's girl. Thank you, son. I love you, boy. I love you. He's a good boy. And I'm not threatened by you. I'm threatened by David.
I was
So
David with his arm around her.
yeah, he has home runner. He gave Andrea a pie. I was cool with it. I was cool with it for a little bit. I got a friend. I got a friend. His name is Big Keith Williams. Shout out to my brother, Big Keith Williams. He's doing all right. He's going through stuff. He sent me pictures. His wife was working with her coach, John Simmons. He sent me a picture. Said George, here's a picture of it. Said, wait, see me. Said, what you doing here? He got his hand around. He's smiling. He's smiling. He's my brother. And you got a pretty wife. Why you get your hand? I'm sorry. I try to let go. I try to let go. I try to let go. I'll know. I remember when I was in Tampa, the biggest thing, the one person I got to meet that I was so excited to meet, honestly, was Ashley Jones. And I acted like it was just when I meet someone like her, it's amazing. She's a lovely, amazing competitor. I mean, great physique. People talk well about her. Sharonka Hinton, you competed with Sharonka. I remember I met her last year, and she's a lovely lady.
Yeah.
And the highlight for me when I got to meet this gentleman, and you will recognize this gentleman in the middle between me and Eunice. And it was, my God, Diamond Dave. Oh my God. I would never met that man in my country life if I didn't go to Tampa.
That's
I
right.
mean, it was he's an amazing artist. I grew up like you,
Yeah.
I grew up a part of the 80s. I remember Jump came out, Running the Devil. Shout out to him and Eddie. Eddie was the first rock and roll star to use a synthesizer, which mostly was in more other music genres. But back to the interview, so I enjoyed talking with you. Um, so you make the decision to focus on other shows like Tampa is, sorry, Puerto Rico. That's Steve. That's also a Tim Gardner show. They brought that back last year. It's just going to do just mostly. I think only thing is I think the open is figure, and I think men's classic. Everything is just masters. And Max Fix a pretty good show because this year it was really heavy this year. I mean, I was talking with a couple of ladies that competed there. I mean, it was over 300 competitors that year, and plus if you do the 40 plus, they got $10,000. That's a good chunk of change.
So that one pays out really well. And people kept asking me, was I going to do it? Just at my age and my body and just my life, two shows is all I can handle back to back. I didn't know that I could go 2 more weeks and do a whole nother show. I just felt like my body had been extended as much as I could extend it. Because, I want longevity in this sport. I don't want to wear myself down in a couple years. Because people are like, well, how long are you going to do? Well, it's fun. I'm going to do it as long as it's fun, so keep doing it. So that's why I thought about doing it next year. Puerto Rico is just a thought because it's like, oh, I can turn that into a vacation. So that's was my Puerto Rico. Again, I don't know for sure what I'm going to do. I don't make those plans until January just because I want to enjoy the high of coming off a competition season, focus on rebounding, reverse dieting, getting back into, a health phase and growing and really focus on that. And then first of the year, really sit down and make some plans. Because again, too, it depends on when things are run. What month they're run. And I always like to do two shows because I do too much work for one. So a lot of factors kind of go into determining what show I'm gonna do. And then sometimes shows disappear, sometimes new shows pop up. So definitely, we'll wait. But I kind of kicked myself for not doing this last show that Max said because it was a really good show, a lot of tough competition, and I like to go up against tough competition. Just shows me how I fit in, what I need to work on, and it feels good to beat somebody who's tough competition.
Yeah, because I think a couple ladies that did the Tampa with you, Tatiana and Mariana did that show.
Yes,
Tatiana, her body's like wow. I've been talking with. I hope I get on in an interview, in the future. I mean, her, and they are women in their. I can't believe they're touching their 50s and their bodies are like ripped to shreds. I mean, wow.
yes. And
Yeah.
Master's friends went on to do that show as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the thing. Masters really has picked the last 2 years. There's people like me and David talking about. We're wondering we're going to have the Masters Olympia next year.
Right.
I mean, it's like I said that mess in Japan. That was, I mean, Jake. I always got to give a shout to Jake Wood. Yo, Jake. I want that money. I want that gun. I can't help where I say his name because that's my Denzel from Training Day. When you remember Jake, Ethan Hawke, and I'm hearing. I think some people say possibly Orlando, maybe Pittsburgh.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Because you think about it, there's more master shows here in the States than it's overseas. I know they want to spread out, but it's not the same like the Olympia.
Mm-mm.
It's just brought it back a few years ago. A couple ladies I've interviewed, and I know done that show in Japan. Some ladies did one in Romania, and I think it's better to have it here. Especially, I know one lady, Oksana Pereira. She was talking about that the year before. She was talking about doing it, but then because she had issues with a visa, she couldn't go out of the country, and that would be a great show because she was on the list in the first one, but couldn't go to Romania. But it also the cost of it. I know Lady Lori, that was her debut, and she spent nearly over $10,000 for her husband and a coach to go over to Romania, and that goes back to why bodybuilding is very, it's not as lucrative. If you look at like sports like the NBA and in the Major League Baseball, soccer, you can make a living off of it, and
Yeah.
and the cost of being a master competitor, you have to pay to play, and the cost of travel to the shows, food, this, your coaches, and also the guys they have their expenses, but on show day they got to put on a pair of banana ham board shorts and some tan. You
Right.
ladies, you have to look very feminine, very presentable. You have to have your suits done. You have to have your hair done, your nails done, your makeup. I mean, those are expenses as part of competitors. Your suit alone, that's the car note, that's rent, that's probably
Oh,
mortgage.
George, I tell people because I'm old school and I remember when cars were you could get a nice used car for $1,000, $2,000. I tell people my suit is a old school used car. Like real, I'm old school used car. That's how expensive these suits are.
Yeah. My first car was I got it from this place in Lumberton. It was a Ford. Taurus. It was a 91. Only problem was that it didn't have a radio and the back door on the passenger side didn't open. And I paid like about 1,500 for it. And that
Yeah.
was, yeah, that's right now. That's opposing suits cost more than that, just about.
Gosh, yeah, so expensive. And then when you add the jewelry, the hair, the makeup, so expensive. Which I do my own hair. I like the way I style my hair for the show. So I do my own hair, so I don't have that expense. But then the makeup, the jewelry, the nails before the show.
The tan.
Oh, the tan. Oh, let me tell you a funny story, George.
Go ahead.
So I believe it was my second show. I I've been with my husband now. We've been together 33 years. So I guess that was 20 some years we had been together. Only man to see me naked, right, for 20 some years was my husband. My second show, I'm standing there in your spread eagle. Your arms are up, your legs spread. You're just, spread eagle. Here comes a man ready to spray tan me. And I was like a deer in the headlights. I'm a good Christian girl. Nobody sees me naked but my husband. Here's this man. I was so shell shocked. I thought, is this normal? I guess this is normal. And then I thought, you know what? He's like going to the gynecologist. He ain't looking at you. He's doing his job. And so I was like, okay, I can do this. But it was Chris with gosh, I can't think of the name of the tannin now. It's
What's the
escaping.
protan?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. So Chris, and he's the owner of the company, and very professional, very nice. Love Chris. I've interacted with him so many times since then. But that was the first time I met him, and I just remember thinking, okay, talk, 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 because I was nervous. I was talking. His name was Chris. My husband's name is Chris. So I just started talking about my husband, talking about him,
So
and
like,
then
it's like,
I'll strip naked in front of any man that wants to tan me. Of course.
well, it better not be me.
Uh, no. I'm
I,
But it was just so funny because I'm a good Christian girl, come from a country town. You don't do those kinds of things. So I remember like it's a funny story now, but I was like so in shock. And when I was done, I went and told my husband, "Oh my God, a man tanned me. Nobody told me it would be a man."
well,
But it scared me.
Well, you got to think about it. They have to be like the ladies have to toss so tan the guys. Like I hear ladies say, like the guys wear socks over their privates, or they just stand there butt naked. There's this lady. I follow her, and I think she does wellness, and she posted a video of her getting tanned by this dude. And I said, I wish I could have his job. Says, well, you got to tan the guys too. I said, hell no. Hell no, no, no. Excuse my language, man. No, 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 no. No, no. I play football, and I walk around guys in the locker room like that. But still, I don't want to be
Yeah.
having somebody like, hey, yo, bro. We have your comment here. Shout out to my man Black Panther coming through. He says, "Hi, George. Hi, Panther." He says, also says, Miss Carrie G, where are you originally from? Well, if you heard, she's from North Carolina, here in my home state. If you want to know that, you can follow her links in the description. Also, shout out to him. He says, Miss Carrie G, what activities do you participate outside of bodybuilding? So, what else do you do?
Oh, that's a great, great question. I love to read. I'm an avid reader, so I read a lot. I'm crafty. I like anything that I do with my hands. So I'm a creative person, so I love being creative.
Mhm. Yeah, doing this content, I love to be creative. I used to, collect comics when I was younger in the muscle mags. That was my thing. Reading, I gotta wear decent times where I gotta read. You get to this age and you gotta be. I put on my old man glasses. I say, one time I was out at a menu. Say, oh, what? Oh, damn, I gotta wear these again. Oh God, we have here a comment from a man. Shout out to man David. He's always been supportive. Appreciate it, brother. Says Carrie made huge improvements, really awesome. Thank you, brother. Also, my man Panther says this. He says, I love female bodybuilding in the women's bodybuilding division. Women's bodybuilding is the greatest. And also, we have here a comment. He's also, this is my man, he says, this says, marriage is a beautiful union. Thank you, brother. I've never been married. I don't have no kids either. So, but that's one of my things. My question I having is, I had a woman that was my mom, and You know,
Oh
she was
yeah.
my woman. You know, I miss her. The closest they had to a child, I had a nephew. He was autistic, and we took care of him. Going like, he was, when she got sick, and his mother came and got me. It sounded like somebody took my child. He was my brother's youngest son. We take care of him. Shout out to my man Alex coming through here as always. He says, "How long has your husband been into bodybuilding, Carrie?"
Yeah, so he's along with me in our 20s. We started going to the gym, and in 2020s when we both decided we would start being bodybuilders, but we've always been in and out of the gym since our 20s. So, and he just turned 50. I'm a little bit of a cougar. I'm a little older than him. He just turned 50. Um so yeah, but we've been, I guess, the last 30 years in and out of the gym. Of course, more consistently the last many years in the gym, less out of the gym. But yeah, we've always been really healthy, health focused, and fitness focused people.
Well, man, here's the thing about it. Sometimes those men we like you older women because you know what? We don't have no trouble, no hassle. Y'all can be sweet as pie, but y'all can be just as fierce as anything. And you know, as a man, it shouldn't matter. If you find someone that you love and you share a passion with, that's good. You know, if it could be 10 or 15 years. Not anybody who's old enough to be my child. No, I'm not. And, you know, I don't want. Hey, if you like 27 years old, show me to your mama. I want to meet your mama. I don't want to meet. You know, no, you're a nice baby. You know, I'll be your pappy, but I don't want to be your boyfriend. Shout out to my man Alex. He says this after my man Alex says, what do your kids and your grandchildren think of your competing in WPD?
Oh, that's a really great question, Alex. They are so supportive. They love it. They all flex on me. The oldest, who's 15, grandchild, said, "Grandma, you're my biggest flex." And they will tell people, "My grandma can whoop your daddy's butt."
Hell, that's the thing. He said, yeah, go, come on. Saying like, he's like, where, boy, where's your grandma? I said, that's my grandma. Oh,
That's
shit.
and that's what people are like. That's your grandma. So vacation, and they make friends everywhere they go. And so the 13-year-old said, "Grandma, when you came over to talk to me, you walked away. That kid said your grandma could whoop my butt. She's strong."
You country strong.
It was so cute. But yeah, they are so supportive. They love it. Whenever I do an interview like this, they'll find it on YouTube, and then they call me, "Grandma, I saw you on YouTube. They think I'm famous. Of course, you're famous." And they're just so proud. And they show their friends pictures of me, and it's like, because they're so proud. That's my grandma. And then my kids just are so supportive. My daughter says, "My parents are bodybuilders and they look amazing, but I like to eat, so I don't look anything like them."
Well, that's the thing. Again, this is about a passion. Not everybody can be into it,
Right,
and you know, uh, just understanding that it's good that they have that. Because I've talked to ladies where their family may not like it, but they respect their decision what they do. I've known ladies who have like you might hear the story like some, especially younger women saying like, "Oh, sweetheart, I don't want to get some muscular and become a man," or or the father might say, "Well, I already got a boy. I don't need another boy." But
right.
this is about you, not them. And
Uh,
if your kids and your grandbabies, they support you, that's good. Everybody else, well, I gotta clean myself up. I can't do heck with them. So don't worry
that,
about it. Shout out to my man David. He's been sticking in here, brother. I appreciate your support, man, as always. He says, wait a minute, he says, I might have pinched Andrea's glute too. You son of a ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, oh, you
oh,
know what? I might have changed my plans and go to Tampa for a little bit. I'm gonna have a long talk with my brother. We have a long talk. He knows
uh,
he does this to rage bait me. He's like, I'm not angry with him because I like if I was angry, he would know. He would know. But
absolutely.
yeah.
It's all
Shout out to my man here. He says, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA is a great place for women's bodybuilding shows and women's physique shows. Actually, there's a show coming up in Charlotte, which is the Queen City. It's just doing figure for Masters and Open. I'm waiting after how my finances go for this trip. I'm planning on going there. I'm gonna probably with a car for a few days, and because
oh good.
that's why I really want to get myself out there a little more. I mean, where I live at, there's not much. You live in a big town where there's a lot more to do, but you
Yeah,
grew up in a small town where there's not much. You might it's like we have two gas stations, a Dollar General, Family Dollar, and if you want to go anywhere else, you want to get something, you have to go to the next town over.
yeah. I used to go because I travel for work. I used to go to your town a lot, and me and the staff would go out to the Golden Corral. This was years ago. We'd go out to the Golden Corral and have lunch. But there
Yeah,
was nothing else there. But it's actually grown over the years.
yeah, Lumpton